What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stars Insiders podcast. And on today's episode, I'll be previewing the Dallas Cowboys Week 12 matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. So, without any further ado, let's get straight to it. All right, man, let's get straight to this, dude. This is gonna be a pretty big game for the Dallas Cowboys. Not only because it's a rivalry game, not only because it's a divisional game, but because pretty much we can't afford to lose games right now if we're trying to make a push for the playoffs, or even just make a push for the playoffs. There's literally no room for any sort of error here for the Cowboys. So this really is a must-win game. I think every game from now on is a must-win game. I think we might be able to afford to lose maybe one game, if that, just maybe one game, and that's it. But this should be a pretty interesting, pretty good game, I feel like, for the Cowboys offensively and defensively. They showed some pretty good promises last week against the Raiders. So they showed some pretty good stuff on offense, getting Pickens involved, getting the running game going. Defensively, of course, with Quinn Williams, we looked amazing up front. And yeah, let's get straight to it, man. Let's talk about the Cowboys offense against this Eagles defense. The Eagles have one of the better defensive fronts in the NFL. But the Cowboys were honestly able to silence that pretty well in week 1. Of course, they didn't have Jalen Carter or Jalen Phillips, but I was trying to look at film and stuff and trying to get some clips and stuff for y'all to kind of go over this defensive front of the Philadelphia Eagles and like really dive into it and see how good they are. And I feel like, as I've been watching, I'm not super impressed with what they have been doing. Especially last week. I feel like they played okay, but I feel like a whole lot of their success against the run game and really against the pass game really came from that linebacker room. I feel like those linebackers are really good. I feel like they really make up this defense. I feel like it's the linebackers really that help the most against the run. And yeah, I really don't feel like this Eagles defensive line is really as good as advertised. That's just my personal opinion. I've been watching film, trying to get some clips for y'all, and I can't get like a good solid clip to show y'all how they've been dominating. I feel like I haven't really seen, you know what I'm saying? I'm not super impressed. I'm probably gonna get shut up this weekend because I just said this. They're probably gonna fucking hold Javonte to like no yards, and Dak's gonna get sacked like 5 times. Let's hope not. But yeah, I'm honestly not super impressed with this defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, like I said a little earlier, the Cowboys had a really good success against this Eagles front in week 1. They were able to run the football extremely well. They were able to protect Dak Prescott the entire game, really. They really had no problems against this defensive line, really rushing the passer. If they did, I feel like Dak Prescott did a really good job of evading some of these pass rushers. And again, we ran the football extremely well, and I feel like we can have a pretty decent game running the football once again. Our entire offensive line is all healthy, all the way through. Left tackle, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele, and our guys have grown. I feel like since week 1, Tyler Guyton has grown. Since week 1, Tyler Booker has grown. Since week 1, I feel like Cooper Beebe has grown as well. So I'm not super concerned in this this offensive line. Let's get to talking a little more about this Cowboys offense. Really, not only running the football, I feel like passing the football, they can have another amazing game. We saw them have a really good game week 1 against the Eagles. Of course, CeeDee Lamb had an amazing game. If it really weren't for those couple of drops he would have had a absolute monster of a game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And we would have probably won that game if CeeDee Lamb caught some of those passes. And I think we're honestly gonna be able to do the same thing we did week 1 against the Eagles with CeeDee Lamb. I feel like CeeDee Lamb can have another one of those types of games where he goes for like 6 catches, 8, it's like 6, 7, 8 catches, 100+ yards. And with Pickens now being a lot more, how do I say, he has a better connection now with Dak Prescott. I feel like Pickens is gonna make a huge impact as well in this game. But I'm really looking at CeeDee Lamb this game. I really do feel like this is a pretty big week for CeeDee Lamb. I mean, again, we saw him last year. I mean, not last year. We saw them earlier this year. I was watching CeeDee Lamb's film against these guys earlier this year. He was giving really everybody work, from Quinyon Mitchell to Cooper DeJean to Adoree Jackson. He was giving everybody work. I feel like CeeDee Lamb had a pretty good game against these guys. And again, I feel like he will have another one of those types of games. So, with that being said, again, I think this Cowboys offense is due for another pretty big game offensively. That's going to be running the football, passing the football. I think they are capable of putting points on this defense, especially at home, especially since this is a home game. The Cowboys have played extremely well at home, and especially against the Philadelphia Eagles. Dak Prescott has played amazing against the Eagles when he's played at home. So I think that's going to be a pretty big advantage, is that home crowd, that home game crowd. It should be, honestly, I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game for this Cowboys offense. So with all that being said, man, let's get on to the Cowboys defense against this Eagles offense. Alrighty, man. I was going to show y'all boys some clips and stuff, but NFL Pro is being a little weird right now. It's not letting me just really access my account for some reason. So let's just talk. Let's just sit here and talk to y'all. So I think one of the biggest things, if not the biggest thing this game, is, I think it is probably the biggest thing this game for this Cowboys defense, is going to be to stop the run. I think we did an amazing, we did do a really amazing job stopping Saquon Barkley week 1. I know Jalen Hurts had a bit of a, I mean, he had a pretty decent game running the football against us. We just really weren't able to run with them. We didn't have the guys that we have right now to run with them. But I think a lot of that's going to change. Even with Saquon Barkley, I feel like, again, we did an amazing job week 1, stopping him with Osa, Kenny Clark, and all of our guys. We did a really good job against Saquon Barkley. And now you add a Quinnen Williams into the mix. Like, that's a dangerous front, especially considering how bad this Eagles interior offensive line is. That's what I was going to show y'all. I was going to show y'all some of these clips of truly how bad this Eagles offensive line has been these past couple of weeks. They've honestly looked pretty bad. They're pretty banged up, and they just don't look good. Even with some of the starters in, that offensive line is just getting no push, and they're getting beat by literally everybody. I saw Aleem McNeil just absolutely destroy Cam Jurgens on a couple of occasions. So if Aleem McNeil can do that, can do this type of stuff he was doing against these dudes, Quinnen Williams, Osa, and Kenny Clark are gonna absolutely eat. And I think, to still speaking with the run, sticking with the run here, I think the biggest thing is just week 1, we didn't have the linebackers that we have right now. With Overshown coming back, I think that's gonna be a huge impact on this defense. The way he moves, I think he's gonna be amazing. I think he's gonna be a really good help against this Philadelphia Eagles offense and the Jalen Hurts legs. I think he is exactly what we needed. If it's not him, it'll probably be Logan Wilson, or I think you just take the green dot off of Kenneth Murray and just have him run with Jalen Hurts. I think that's what we should be really using Kenneth Murray for. Just take the green dot off, let him play the outside, let him run around and do some other stuff. I think even him, I think he can do a pretty good job of trying to run around and chase around Jalen Hurts. I think, again, we have more and better guys now to stop the run up the middle or on the edges and on the edges as well. Let's talk about the edges here a little bit. I mean, these past couple of weeks and just the entire season, it's been such a surprise, really, for me. The Donovan Ezeraku development as a run defender, he's looked so good. Really against the run, I felt like he was gonna be amazing against the pass. I mean, as a pass rusher, but he's been really more of a run stopping defensive end. He's been a better run stopping defensive end than he's been really a pass rusher. So that's really good. That's gonna help us a whole lot as well against this Eagles team. It's just gonna be containing Jalen Hurts, stopping the run up the middle, and just forcing Jalen Hurts to pass. That's gonna be the thing. Forcing Hurts to run. I mean, not to run, to pass. I mean, even to run, just have him run outside the pocket and do some stuff. Although, I'm actually tripping. I'm tripping. No. Hurts, when he's on the run, he's outside the pocket, he tends to be better with his receivers and he tends to be better with his legs. So I feel like if you just contain him, keep him in the pocket, try to make him really think and try to dissect the defense, it's going to be a tough day for Hurts, really, if it comes to that. I don't know if I said this already, but I mean, he's been off with his receivers pretty much the entire year. From week 1 to now, there's really no difference with how he's played with his receivers. I mean, AJ Brown is as frustrated as really any other receiver in the NFL has been the entire year. Devontae Smith has been decent in occasions. I feel like his biggest target as of late has probably been Dallas Goedert, and even he hasn't been great. So I really do feel like we have a really good chance against this Philadelphia Eagles offense. If it's just, I think my main keys, let's see my main 3 keys. It's just gonna be stop the run with Saquon Barkley, that'd be up the middle and the edges, and then stop the Jalen Hurts run, and then just contain Jalen Hurts, keep him inside the pocket, make him try to read the defense because he's not good at doing that. Keep him in there, make him to force throws, and I think if we do those things correctly, we have a very good chance of winning this football game. All right, man, that's really all I have for y'all when it comes to Cowboys offense, Cowboys defense. I think it's going to be a pretty good game, really, for the Cowboys. I think we have a really good shot against this team. I think we can do some damage against this team offensively, and I think we're more than prepared and more than ready defensively to stop whatever Philly has to throw at us. So with that being said, let's get into this week 12 of predictions. Let's start with this Cowboys offense. These are my personal predictions, what I feel like is going to happen, how I feel like this game is going to go. I think Dak Prescott is probably going to throw, I think he'll probably go 23 of 32. I'll give him 245 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I was saying earlier, I feel like this is going to be another really big CeeDee Lamb game. If y'all haven't seen my my Instagram, I did a little bit of trolling with CeeDee Lamb, and he kind of noticed what I was doing there. It was a little I said, what did I say? It was like, I said, I'm so happy that I have the best wide receiver in the NFL and CeeDee Lamb on the same team. And he ended up liking the post, which that's kind of cool. And then right after, I asked him if he could switch to back to the speed flex. And I mean, we saw him earlier today with the speed flex on at practice. So see if he balls out, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's because of me. Let's be honest, it's gonna be because of me. If he balls out, it's gonna be because of TheStarsInsiders. It's gonna be because of me. But yeah, I really, again, getting a little off track, but I think CeeDee Lamb's gonna have a good game. Not just because of his helmet, but because this Eagles secondary isn't great. I mean, he proved that week 1 against them. He played an amazing game against him, really, again, against everybody, against Quignon. He had him a couple of times. He had Cooper DeJean a couple of times. He had Adari Jackson a lot of times. So I think he has a bounce back game because he didn't play great this past week. I don't think not only is that going to fuel him, but also the fact of, he pretty much lost us the game week 1. So I think that's going to be a pretty good fuel to the fire to add there. So I think CeeDee Lamb probably goes 7, give him a buck 58. You know what I'm saying? Probably give him about a buck 58 and a touchdown. Pretty bold predictions there, but I think it's very, very much possible. I'll give George Pickens. Actually, let's go with Javonte Williams. Because I've been talking down on that Eagles front, and I'm gonna stand on it. I really don't feel like it's a great front. I really do not feel at all like it's a great front, and I feel like our front can deal with that, and I feel like our front has been really good. Let's say I'll give my boy Javonte Williams. I'll give him let's say 16, 17 carries. I'll give him about 76 yards and a touchdown. That sound good? I think that that actually sounds pretty good. I think that's a pretty good prediction, and I really feel like it's gonna come true. I really feel that way about that Eagles front. It's not great. Now let's move on to the defense. Predictions of the defense. This is I'm kind of not guessing, but it's a little harder to predict defense. Let's go over Sean's stat line. I think he'll have maybe about 5 tackles, 3 assists, and I'll give my boy a sack. He's been really good at sacking Jalen Hurts. He did a really good job of that last year. Last year he did a really good job of that. He's gonna be on a snap count, so I wouldn't give him as many I was gonna give him a little more tackles, but he's gonna be on a snap count. But yeah, 5 tackles, 3 assists, and a sack for my boy DeMarvion Overshown Agent 0. And Quentin Williams, I think he has 4 tackles. I'll give him about 5 run stuffs. I really do think Saquon Barkley is going to be held for like under 40 yards on the run. And then Donovan Azaraku, I'll give my boy 4 tackles. I'll give him a TFL and throw in a sack. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be playing against Fred Johnson. So let's give my boy Donovan Azaraku a sack. With all that being said, y'all, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Really hope you guys took something good from this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Keep supporting your boy. I'm going to try to keep posting. Keep posting. It gets a little hard for me sometimes because of work. You know what I'm saying? I get out of work pretty decently late, and I get a little lazy. I'm pretty tired most of the time. So, but I'm gonna try to keep posting. At least twice a week, probably twice a week. Maybe the episode after the game and the episode before a game. With all that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to God. Don't let any sort of suicidal thoughts really get to your brain. Seek help. And again, if you don't have someone to talk to, just know that God is always there for you. He's always there to hear you out. So yeah, I love y'all boys. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed night. Go Cowboys. I'll see y'all boys. Peace.